Our first video segment will highlight a court which has established an advisory committee whose membership includes foster parents, child protective service workers, mental health professionals, attorneys, and other representatives of the community. The committee meets on a regular basis to set priorities, initiatives, and innovative practices and monitor progress. And another critical aspect of this program is the development and implementation of the Assessment Foster Homes Initiative. The El Paso Children's Court faces unique challenges due to its proximity to the Mexican international border. The movement of children and families that cross add to the complexity of the court's handling of dependency cases. The diverse ethnic heritage of families within its jurisdiction presents the need for accurate and efficient case tracking and allocation of appropriate resources. The El Paso Children's Court became a model court of the National Council of Juvenile and Family Court Judges in 1997 under the leadership of Associate Judge Patricia A. Macias.
El Paso is a unique community as we sit right on the border of Texas and Juarez, Chihuahua, Mexico. We depend a lot on our culture, and we're about 72% Hispanic or Latino individuals. The cultural heritage is very strong in the way our families are structured and the way the extended families support individuals, parents and children. And so while the challenges may be those of a poorer community and perhaps a more isolated community from its capital, I believe that El Paso offers its families and children many opportunities. The Associate Court is under the 65th District Court. Judge Alfredo Chavez is our supervising judge. And cases are filed in the 65th Court, and then he refers all the cases to the Associate Court. Under statute, the Associate can hear all matters except contested jury trials that are not waived into the Associate Court. We also have family members or parents who have been deported into Mexico as a result of a variety of reasons, and they're not allowed border crossing letters. But because it's important for them to participate in some way, the INS has allowed us space on the International Bridge in a conference room where we're able to hold mediations and not violate any of the federal immigration regulations in prohibiting deported individuals from coming across. And we found a lot of cooperation from both the U.S. authorities and the Mexican authorities in facilitating this kind of dialogue when it has to do with permanency for kids.
The El Paso Children's Court has worked diligently to establish a positive, collaborative relationship with all stakeholders in the child welfare system. A comprehensive effort by the court towards this goal has spawned the El Paso Model Court Advisory Committee. The advisory committee includes numerous representatives from the child welfare system.
When El Paso was named as a model court, we looked at the individuals and the agencies and the organizations that participated in child abuse and neglect, and we invited a multidisciplinary audience or participants to come and talk to us about how to achieve permanency for kids in 12 months. And so we brought in foster parents, CASA volunteers, caseworkers, administrators from the Child Protective Services Agency, attorneys, teachers, physicians, anyone who had a part in child abuse and neglect case, and brought them together. At that time, we limited to 35 people to come together and come to a consensus about what the El Paso Court, how the El Paso Court should address its child abuse and neglect cases.
The primary benefit is that I think that the clients that are served benefit from the coordination of services, that everyone understands what the goal is, and the goal is to ensure that the very best possible intervention for children occurs. And so for the department, it's really nice for us to know that we're not doing that alone, that we're not the only ones who have that as their objective. And so for us to be a part of a system that embraces that and has that as its goal is very exciting for us.
You cannot represent children in a vacuum. It's just impossible. You know, it's one thing to take a criminal, represent someone who has a DWI or has a theft charge or somebody involved in a personal injury case. But a child has so many components of his or her life that are affected by the trauma and the chaos as a result of the problems in the home and the stress of being removed from their parent or parents. And so you can't represent these children in a vacuum. And that's the whole, I think, joy and the success of the model court. It is a team effort with attorneys who represent children, who represent parents. It is, and the therapists, the caseworkers, and CASA, the guardian ad litems, all of those people come together and represent the child. And so you really get, that child really gets the best and most solid kind of representation, I think, that really addresses or tries to address all of his or her needs.
Collaborating with the other agencies has worked well with CASA because we have been able to get to know the key players. They know what the CASA's role is. They know that the CASA is going to talk to every party in the case, that they are going to make recommendations for what they feel is an independent best interest of the child or independent recommendation for the child. We have been able to attend treatment team meetings. We have been able to attend meetings with the therapists, meetings with the attorneys. We have access to all of the records. We have a better communication with our Child Protective Services because we are all brought together to work together to get children through their cases, not only efficiently, but to work definitely as one goal as to what is the best for this child.
One challenge facing every juvenile and family court is providing abused and neglected children with a nurturing home environment where individual needs can be rapidly identified. The El Paso Children's Court has established the Assessment Foster Home Initiative to directly address this issue.
The concept behind assessment homes is when you remove the child from their natural home, that place them in a foster family home at the inception. In other words, our children do not go from their home to an emergency shelter, spend a few days, and then go into a foster home. If it's 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, doesn't matter. All the children who come into care go to a foster home as their initial placement, regardless of their age.
The Assessment Foster Home Project is actually, it's cornerstone in an assessment foster home, but it's actually a greater concept. And it's based on the assumption that children and families should be assessed quickly at the beginning of the case so that all the individuals who are working with the family have a roadmap to follow in providing services for rehabilitation. The assessment foster home itself is a place where children go, a family that takes care of the child from the day of protective custody to the day it's determined whether that child stays in foster care on a longer-term basis.
What will happen is that I will go ahead and write them down, document them, make them a report to the court, and stating that as an agreement, as a team, this is what we feel that the family should be provided with as services.
When we initiated the treatment team is to bring all the players together in the initial stage so we could set some recommendations to the court as to what we wanted the children to get from the services, and most importantly what the parents had to do to accomplish the end goal was to get the children back.
Here we have children now who are in an assessment home. We have family members, parents who have just had their children taken away from them, and you have a very chaotic and very stressed family. So this team comes together. You know, there's the foster care developer, and then there's the assessment home.